Stanley, it's your first snowfall, bud. Well, it's that time of year where the chickens are pretty much going to be shut up in their coop for the winter now. They really don't want anything to do with walking around in the snow. I might shovel off like their run a little space, but usually they just stay inside. They won't even go outside in this. Also means that their water freezes pretty quickly, so I usually give them fresh stuff in the morning and then just come out and kick out some of the ice with my foot in the afternoon. And then I have a bunch of snow shoveled in here, and they will eat that for water as well to hydrate. That's what all the wild birds do that stay in the north, you know, throughout the winter. They just eat snow for their water because everything else is frozen. The first winter that I had chickens, I was always worried about their water freezing, and I really stayed on top of it and made sure they had good fresh water all the time. I've talked to a few people that have had chickens for a long time, and they never gave them water during the winter. They just shoveled a bunch of snow inside their coop, and they eat the snow to hydrate. They know to do that, so that does work fine. So, I mean, they're not going to die. You can see they've been eating it right there. You know, they'll stay hydrated, but they definitely prefer the fresh water. I mean, I would too. There.
Oh, Peter.
Well, all right, all the forest critters should be happy. I'm going to cut some of this wood in half so that it fits in our smaller stove in the new addition there, because they're just a little bit too long. I've been burning a lot of that slab wood pine through that little stove, but you know, pine burns so fast, it doesn't really make any coals, so you got to feed it a lot. And it's been pretty chilly. It's been like single digits overnight, so I'm gonna cut up some of this hardwood, some of this birch, there's some maple in there, cut them in half so that it fits in that little stove, and then I shouldn't have to feed it as much throughout the night. Which Sierra has to get up, you know, 3 or 4 times a night to feed Stanley, and then I usually get up with her and feed the stove anyway, but it'd be nice to, you know, run some of this birch and maple through there and get a nice bed of coals. So we're not just chewing through all that pine, because that pine, I kind of like to chop that up into kindling and use that in the morning time to get a good hot fire going. It's really good for that, but I don't really want to burn it, 24/7 through the stove. So we'll start getting into some of this hardwood now. That should give us a longer burn time. Let's hike back and go have a look at the log cabin build. It's been, months since you guys have seen it. So you can see the logs have darkened quite a bit, from weathering. They darken up like this just from the weather. Even if you have them covered, like out of the rain, they still do this. So before you seal them or whatever, you kind of shine them up a little bit. But what a lot of people do is they'll pressure wash them. But that's not going to work for me because, I'd have to fill up like a holding tank back at the well and then get that back in here. So kind of a lot of putzing around. You can kind of hit them with a palm sander. That works well. But what I've done in the past is use a wire brush attachment for my drill. And it takes this stuff right off. So after I hit them all with the wire brush attachment on my drill, they'll be shined up again like they were. And then I'll hit them with the sealer this spring when the weather gets warmer. And then they should stay like that as long as I stay on top of sealing them. But I'll show you what it looks like with that wire brush attachment. Of course, the battery I brought back here is dead, so it doesn't have much power. But with a fresh battery and a new wheel, this goes pretty quick. I could probably do the inside and the outside in, it'd probably take me a few days, maybe 2 days on the inside, 2 days on the outside, depending on how hard I want to go at it. But it'll shine them up just like this one I did right here, that little bit I did on it. And then it'll get rid of all this weathering. But we are going to stain this, not dark, but a darker than that. And not quite as dark as they look right now, but it'll have a little bit of color to it. But yeah, a palm sander works really well too, but then I'd have to have a generator back here, which I guess is fine. But I like the wire brush because then you can really get in between them, where you're going to chink them, and where the palm sander, you can't really reach a lot of spots, where with the wheel brush like that, you can get in kind of every nook and cranny and make them look really nice. I had to do the same thing with the remote log cabin that I used to show on this channel too. It's just the way it goes. Not a very fun job, but definitely makes it look nice and makes them look new again. And then when I hit them with that sealer and stain, it'll look really nice, but that won't be till, the spring once it warms up. But the next step with this, the log building is all done, so there's no more logs going on this. And then once I get my roof done, my roof pitch, I will transition into rough cut boards above the logs, and it'll end up looking really nice. So the next step on this is going to be hitting it with that wire brush. I'll spend, 4 or 5 days doing that, kind of take my time with it, and then I'll start roofing it. Then once it's roofed, of course, you know, we'll build the floor and yeah, start getting some windows in and get it closed up, and then I can get going on the inside throughout the winter here. It'd be kind of ideal to get it buttoned up, closed up, get a wood stove in there so I have some heat while I'm working on it throughout the day. But yeah, that's kind of what's next on this. It'll be nice to get back to work on the log cabin. I'm really excited about it. Also, the new cabin build at the new property, I will be working on that throughout the winter as well. So they'll kind of have both series going on, because it'd be really nice for that new property to have that place done, or at least dried in, you know, by the time springtime rolls around. So then, you know, we can enjoy the spring there, the summer. So I'll have that going on too. So it might be like one video of that, the new cabin build, and then one video of the log cabin, and just kind of like every other, or it might be like 2 videos on the log cabin or 1 at the new property. It all depends on when I can get there. It's not that far from here, but with having Stanley now, I'm just going to try to get there whenever I can. I'll probably bring a load of materials there soon before we get too much snow, because as of right now, I should be able to drive the van in there, so I can bring quite a bit of stuff, you know, like the subfloor and floor joists and a lot of bulky things, and at least get them on site. That way when I go there, I, you know, don't have to run to the store or anything. I can just kind of get to work. That'll definitely speed things up. And then on days that I go there, I'll probably stay the night in the wall tent. We'll see. We'll see if Sierra's feeling up to it or not. You know, her and Stanley could come with me, and, you know, if the wood stove is going inside the wall tent, it's plenty warm there, so it's not cold for her or Stanley, so it'd be totally fine. It's just whether or not she wants to do that or not. If I had boobs, I would just bring him with, and then I could feed him, but, you know, I don't, so he kind of needs Sierra at this point, so she would have to come with if I were to bring Stanley. So that's kind of the plan this winter is, yeah, getting back going on the log cabin back here. When I can, getting to the new property and getting that project going a little bit more. Because, yeah, like I said, it'd be really nice when spring rolls around to have that place done and kind of have most of the work done there so we can kind of enjoy it. But we'll see what happens. Be mixing in some ice fishing this year, some winter camping. So, yeah, I'm excited. Winter's my favorite season. Seems like all my favorite activities are during the winter. I love the cold, love ice fishing, love hockey, love winter camping, love running the wood stoves. So this is my favorite time of year, hands down. It's definitely nice to have some snow. This will be here for the winter, so looking forward to it. That's going to do it for this one. As always, thanks for watching, and I will see you soon.